Hello and welcome to another Thursday edition of the TML Domain podcast. Thank you for joining and watching this episode. We really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Um, I just want to say something about what's going on our Facebook page. I'm just going to bring up the stats here. Um, I love what's going on in our Facebook environment, our little community that we've created. We're getting so much love and support on Facebook. It's unreal. We've quickly grown over, well, I would say not over the summer, but certainly from September till now. We're in September, but it's towards the end of September, beginning of October. We've grown a lot. Our our posts are getting well over 10,000 reaches and likes and comments. What I love about this community that we've created with TML Domain on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's the passion is real, the people are positive, and we're having a lot of fun. And I just want to give a big shout out to I would believe right now we're at 829 subscribers on Facebook. It wasn't long ago that it was 500, and I just want to give a huge shout out to all the people who are commenting, liking, and sharing our posts. Uh, there's no real way for me to really convey all the appreciation that I have for you guys. You guys are amazing. I just recently got a patch style tattoo that I posted on Facebook, saying, it's a new season. I've renewed my passion for the Leafs, diehard Leafs fan, obviously, and just the amount of positivity that I've gotten on this post. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but we're at 12K reach, over 400 reactions, 64 comments, a lot of people saying a lot of great positive things about this patch style tattoo that I got on my arm. Um, you people are amazing. The positivity is amazing. If you have a Toronto Maple Leaf tattoo, please share it with us. I want to see what everyone's doing out there. I want to see the level of creativity. I'm always finding new ways to express my love for the Leafs and my creativity. I designed and created this belt. Um, it was a real labor of love for me. I grew up loving wrestling, as you can see. You can't see on this side, but I have another belt case on this side. I've been collecting sports memorabilia forever. And, when I see pieces of my sports fandom that are out there and that I have a real connection to, I always find a way to get my hands on it. So the collection keeps growing. My love for the Leafs and my love for wrestling, as you can see, the one and only original Toronto Maple Leaf championship belt. So yeah, it's not my first belt either. This was actually the first one that I came up with. This is this is version 1 of the belt. As you can see, the main plate has all the different logos that have ever been used. And then the side plates have my favorite logos of all time. And this was version 1 from Undisputed Belts. And they were very good at etching this for me. It's crazy how many different logos are on that main plate with the brand new latest logo in the middle. and I kind of worked off of that to create this. So I know there's lots of different Leaf fans out there in Leafs Nation that have the passion like me, that have an uber amount of creativity. So if you guys want to jump on the Facebook page of TML Domain or join us on Twitter, the account is 13Leaf01. And we're always sharing what's going on in Leafs Nation. And like I said, recently, we've jumped from 500 to over 800 people on Facebook. The community is growing. The community definitely has the passion, and the positivity is amazing. And, I'm sharing all the time who our top fans are and who are the people that are engaging in the posts the most. There's always a badge that pops up on Facebook that says, you're a top contributor, and I always shout those people out in my stories and in my posts. So shout out to you guys. And so let's move on to some hockey content, right? The preseason has started. The Leafs have played some games. And to be honest with you, I'm actually very excited with what I'm seeing. The very first game the Leafs played against the Ottawa Senators, Ottawa came out with their A lineup, their best players. They came out in the first period, and they outshot the Leafs 24-7. And it didn't look good for the Leafs that were dressed that night. With Keith Petruzzelli in net, followed by Hildeby. But there was a lot of bright spots. Watching Nylander play center for a full game was something to watch. Um, I always assumed that if he were to play center and have open ice and get the puck in the right spots, Nylander is the kind of guy that creates puck possession. He creates offensive zone time. He's great at holding onto the puck, and his playmaking is definitely underrated. Nobody talks about his passing. It's a lot like Phil Kessel when he was in Toronto. I mean, Phil Kessel had an unreal wrist shot, scored a lot of goals, but nobody really talked about his playmaking ability and the way he would be able to make passes in traffic, tape to tape, get guys a lot of goals, and the guys that really benefited from that: Tyler Bozak, James Van Riemsdyk, Joffrey Lupul. There's a lot of guys, but yeah, William Nylander looked good at center. He didn't look out of place. Playing with Domi, who is another underrated playmaker. They looked like to have a little bit of chemistry in that game. They were moving the puck. Domi made a couple of unreal passes through the middle onto Nylander's stick, and once he switches his mentality to be shoot first, get in the slot, rip pucks, he's a natural goal scorer, so he's definitely going to score a lot of goals. Max Domi, I've watched him play for a lot of years now, and something I've never really noticed was, he's gritty in the corners. He's fighting for loose pucks. He's engaged in puck battles. He tends to get the puck back more often than not, and when he does, he's making really good plays. Like I said, in that first game with Nylander, he made a couple of good plays. In the last game where the Leafs won, he came out of the penalty box with his head up. Connor Timmins caught him with a great pass, and he scored a really nice goal. Didn't hesitate. There was no hesitation in him, even though he's a playmaker. He finished that off with zero hesitation. So it's a lot of good things that I'm seeing right now from the guys who are going to be on the Leafs come day one, come game one of the season. And the I guess having watched these first three preseason games, what I'm really noticing is team speed, and everybody wants the Leafs to get bigger and nastier, but what I'm seeing from guys like Noah Gregor, Sam Lafferty, uh, David Camp, and even Bertuzzi and Domi is the Leafs have a lot of speed on the wings. And what they're doing is they're forechecking well. And one thing about Lafferty and Noah Gregor, I don't know what Lafferty's done in the offseason, but it looks like his foot speed has increased a little bit because him and Gregor, the way they're skating around people, defensemen, and taking the puck to the net, getting creating offense. And Lafferty's already scored a goal, and he's just, I mean, one thing I have to say about the Lafferty goal, like, and this is going to be a theme. We're going to be talking about this a lot during our podcast. Is the speed on the wings is amazing. The tenacity on the puck has definitely increased when you add Bertuzzi, Domi, Gregor. You got Lafferty, you got Nyes. And the one thing I noticed that was really, really evident, and that Sam Lafferty goal was Nyes skates up the wing. He has that first couple of steps are very explosive, and he's speeding up the wing to the point where the guy who's checking him, trying to get the puck from him, he leaves him behind and he kind of passes Lafferty enough to stick handle and put it in his path and then just kind of keep continuing to skate across the ice behind Lafferty. So he goes in front of Lafferty, makes the play, and then skates behind him, creating a little bit of, interference with the guy chasing Lafferty. And then Lafferty just walks into this puck and goes forehand, backhand, and puts it low in the net. And it's a very underrated play what happened on that goal. Like that Sam Lafferty goal, like really made my eyes pop out of my head. It got me out of my seat because to see Matthew Nyes make a play, high hockey IQ, skate up the wing, and then as he's skating top speed up the wing, he has enough presence of mind to put the puck backwards through the guy's skate that's who's trying to either line him up for a hit or stick check him, and he at top speed puts the puck through the guy's legs. Like he put the puck through the guy's legs at top speed and then continued to skate, put it in Lafferty's path, and then created interference on the guy chasing Lafferty, and then Lafferty walks in, forehand, backhand, tucks it in. It's so underrated what happened on that goal. Like nobody's talking about it, but the hockey IQ, the speed, and just the deceptiveness of Matthew Nyes on how good his hands are to be able to go top speed, look down at the puck, control it, know who's coming, and then also see who's coming towards him from the front and just put the puck between the guy's skates is unreal. It's such an underrated goal. I know it's preseason. It's not the end result so much as the deceptiveness and the speed of what happened there. I mean, not a lot of players can explode to top speed and still have the presence of mind to deke a guy out of his jockstrap. The way Nyes put the puck in that guy's skates just was unreal. Like I can't wait to see what Nyes, Lafferty, Gregor, all these guys can do with the regulars in the lineup once they ice a full lineup with Tavares, Matthews, Marner. I mean, like it's gonna be. I think this team is gonna be faster than last year. And Kerfoot was a fast guy. Bunting wasn't, he wasn't a slow guy by any means, but like I think the team speed has gone up. The tenacity on the wings has definitely gone up. The way I see Bertuzzi making plays, and if you're really paying attention, you're watching Bertuzzi make the same plays as Matthew Nyes. Like when Bertuzzi gets the puck and he starts flying up the wing, he tries to put the puck right in between the guy's legs and jump around him. Like the IQ is pretty much the same. I think it's just going to be a lot of speed. It's going to catch teams off guard. It's going to create a lot of puck possession. Hopefully, the referees are going to cooperate this season in terms of, the Leafs have done this for years and never been awarded for it. But, the referees keep saying if you keep your stick on the ice, you skate fast, you create puck possession, you cycle in the offensive zone, the other team's eventually going to take a power play. Take a penalty. And the Leafs are going to get a power play, but it's for the longest time, teams like Edmonton get a million power plays because you can't touch McDavid, but the Leafs have never really been awarded with a lot of power play opportunities, even though they've always been top 3 or top 5 in power plays. The last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I really hope it's going to pay off. I didn't really see the vision when Tree Living got hired by the Leafs. But first of all, how about Easton Cowan? Oh my God. What a pick this kid turned out to be. What is he doing to these NHLers in the preseason? Like if you put Bedard on the back of Easton Cowan's jersey and cover his face so they can't see who's actually out there, and then watch Easton Cowan play a game, the way he flies up the wing, the way he creates turnovers, he's scoring goals. He's stopping up, spinning around on guys, breaking ankles, and then in the last game, right at the end, Leafs get a power play. He gets the puck on the wing. He takes it deep, backhand sauce to Connor Timmins, who rifles it in the net. If you cover up Easton Cowan's face, put Bedard on the back, everybody would lose their shit on social media. Like how good this kid looks. You couldn't tell the difference. I'm not saying he's Connor Bedard. I'm not saying he's going to make the NHL. I'm not saying he's going to score 40 goals or get 100 points. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is, as an 18-year-old who most people said was a reach to draft in the first round by Brad Treliving, congratulations to Brad Treliving. What a great pick. Way to start off your tenure as GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You want to get people believing in you? Make picks like this. But I'm just saying, everybody gets excited because the jersey says Bedard. But if you covered up Cowan's face and put Bedard on the back of his jersey, people would get just excited at the same level. The way he skates, the puck management, he's making moves, he's making great passes, he's scoring goals. He's looked great in preseason. Now, I definitely don't want the Leafs to rush this guy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with him going back to junior and then coming to training camp bigger, stronger, faster, and more talented. There's definitely it wouldn't hurt at all. He doesn't have to make the Leafs this year. The Leafs definitely don't need him to make the playoffs. But there's one thing in the back of my mind that gets me excited when I see Easton Cowan playing like this. When I see Easton Cowan playing like this, it reminds me a lot of what we got excited as fans when we saw Matthew Nyes, playing in college. We got excited. The tenacity on the puck, the hands, the skating, scoring goals on against bigger, stronger opponents. There's a lot of things that are similar in Nyes and Cowan and how we got excited over Nyes and nobody believed the hype. But let's say the Leafs are close to winning their division, or they win their division, or they're 1-2 in their division. Either way, let's say the trade deadline comes and goes, the OHL season ends, rosters expand, and all of a sudden the Leafs say, okay, come play the last nine regular seasons for the last nine regular season games for the Leafs. Get that experience, but nine is the max because you don't want to burn a level of his entry. You don't want to burn a year of his entry level contract. And if he looks good, that's another weapon in the playoffs. Just like how we added Nyes last year. I can see that happening. It's not one of it's definitely there's the other situation is his junior season ends and maybe he joins the Marlies for a playoff run. But if he has an amazing year in junior and the Leafs really could use that extra push, that's an interesting scenario in my head because that could happen. They have signed him to an entry level contract. He definitely could join the Leafs for a playoff run, play nine regular season games, don't burn the level of entry, and don't burn a year of entry, and maybe join the Leafs for the playoffs. No one's saying it's going to happen for sure. I'm not even saying that it's a high probability that would happen, but the one thing that when I see him playing as good as he's doing, I see him compared to Nyes. The things that got us excited about Matthew Nyes are the same things that are getting us excited about Easton Cowan. It's a very similar type of player, and you never know. If he's ready, if he can handle it, you can only really tell if he plays the nine regular season games. That's a free asset. He's already, you have him signed. He's ready to go. He could play playoff games. If not, he can join the Marlies for a playoff run. It's not a big deal. It's just watching Easton Cowan. This is what's going on in my head. I'm like, what if another year in junior gets this kid ready to a level where he maybe could join the Leafs for a playoff run? Who knows? Give him the nine regular season games at the end of the year when his junior year is done, when his junior season is done. Or he can go play for the Marlies. That's also a great experience. Hopefully, the Marlies are better this year and they go for a deep playoff run. And that's always great experience. But I really like what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing the vision come together. Domi, Bertuzzi, Nyes, they drafted Cowan. You can see how Tree Living is thinking. The team that he wants to build, how he wants to see his team play. I think it's all good things right now. It's unfortunately Yarncrook has got a little bit of an injury, so he hasn't played any preseason games. He's not practicing. Who knows if he's going to start the season with the Leafs? But that's another spot that opens up, and all of a sudden, another tenacious young winger who can rifle the puck like Nick Robertson then gets an opportunity. And I've seen Nick, and I've been paying close attention to Nick Robertson in the preseason games, and he's looked good. He's fast. He's tenacious. He brings a lot of the same elements as you know the same elements of what the team is looking for. It's not about crushing guys into the corner. It's not about going in there and you know planting guys into the boards. If you get in there quick and just shoulder to shoulder into the board, stick check, get the puck, give it to someone who's just whipping past you. The way Bertuzzi and Domi and Nick Robertson fly past you when you're ready to give the puck off to them, the speed is unreal. And then you got guys like Tavares, Willie, Matthews, just you know they can be available in the slot, and a quick pass is a one timer or a wrist shot rifled into the net, and that's what I see happening. I see this speed creating a really great forecheck that turns into turnovers and quickly becomes fast paced offense. And I think that's the happy medium with what Dubas was trying to build and what Tree Living wants to build, where Tree Living knows that the speed you need skill, but that skill has to come with something a little bit extra. And you see Bertuzzi's hockey IQ and skill um, being matched with tenacity and grittiness in the board, hit people, stick check, get on top of them, don't give them time to make plays. And I think this is I think this is where the Leafs are going, and I'm here for it. It looks great in preseason so far. I mean, that roster that won against Buffalo, it wasn't a great roster. The Leafs didn't ice all their stars. Nylander wasn't there. Marner wasn't there. Matthews wasn't there. There's a lot of guys that weren't there. But just having Nyes, Domi, Tavares in the lineup, the Leafs went out there in the first period and outshot Buffalo 14-4. And then the second period, they outshot them 14-6. And then the third period, they outshot them 13-5. I mean, it was a workmanlike effort. The speed was amazing. And by the end of the game, the shots were 41-15. And the Leafs won, not scoring the prettiest of goals, but it was a 5-2 final. And, you know, Martin Jones and net didn't have to be a superstar. You didn't need your defense to be superstars. You didn't need your goaltender to be a superstar. You went out there and you played, a very basic workman type game. Used your speed, and then all of a sudden, Connor Timmins, who has all these speedy wingers and centers to pass to, starts making really nice passes. They get some goals, and then all of a sudden, the speed is backing up the opposition, and guys like Connor Timmins have all the time in the world to start ripping pucks, and two go in. And I think that's another thing that's worth talking about is the speed of the forwards is going to back up the forecheckers. It's going to back up the defense, and guys like Morgan Riley, John Klingberg, Connor Timmins, McCabe has a pretty nice shot too. Our defensemen are gonna have more time and space to get shots off, and whether they're ripping one timers, slap shots, wrist shots, whatever it is, putting pucks on net, I think it's definitely gonna contribute to more offense from the back end. And it's very safe to say John Klingberg can have a 40-50 point season, and Morgan Riley can as well. It's I've liked. It's a shame because the lineup that the Leafs are icing tonight is a very, very basic lineup. And I want to see more of these guys in the lineup. I want to see at least the basic. Every game should have a top line in it, whether it's Domi, Nyes, and Nylander as a top line, and then you have a bunch of young guys and prospects. Or you have Matthews, Bertuzzi, and Marner, or you have Tavares, Lafferty, and Nick Robertson or something like that. But one thing I want to say is, to start training camp, Lafferty was lining up beside Tavares on the second line, and a lot of people said this guy is not a second liner. But the way he can play with his speed, like the line of Noah Gregor, Pontus Holmberg, and Sam Lafferty looked amazing. Now I don't know if it's because Pontus Holmberg is a faster skater than in Camp, but maybe Camp can slide in there, and that's your third line. And if Cali Yarncrook can't start the season because of his injury, Nick Robertson slides in there on the second line with Tavares and Nye. I mean Tavares and Nyes. But um, that's Sam Lafferty and Noah Gregor look like they can create one hell of a line. Like Sam Lafferty has played center before, and so has Noah Gregor. They can create a line with, like, let's say you want to put Reeves on there. He's got he's the guy that's going to create space. He's going to hit people. Who's going to separate people from the puck, and then the other two guys' speed takes over. I mean, there's a lot of different dynamics that you can create with Camp, Gregor, Lafferty, Reeves, Pontus Holmberg. Like the range of talent and speed allows for a lot of different variations in the lineup, and I'm interested to see with the Leafs playing Friday and Saturday against Montreal, how they put the lineup together. Like I think here, let me just double check here. Let's see. Based on the lineup that's going tonight, okay, so the lineup that's going tonight is Bertuzzi with Holmberg and Gregor. That's going to be a fast and tenacious line. You got Nyes with Fraser Minton in the middle with Lafferty. So Nyes and Lafferty with Fraser Minton. And then you got Robertson, Camp, Reeves. That looks like Keefe is trying to start something or try something for the fourth line. Robertson, Camp, Reeves. Now, if Robertson doesn't make the team, you can easily slide Gregor or somebody else in that spot. But you also have the fourth line tonight is Abruzzese with Shaw and Ellis. So it's going to be a fast lineup. I don't know what Montreal is going to be icing tonight. Most probably, since they're at home, it's going to be a pretty decent lineup. But I'm very interested to see like what they clearly have a mandate, right? They see Nyes and Lafferty. So Nyes and Lafferty with Minton in the middle is the second line tonight. That seems like a spot for Tavares, like Nyes, Lafferty with Tavares. But Tavares is definitely not getting on a bus and traveling to Montreal. So Nyes, Lafferty with Minton in the middle seems like a Tavares line right there. But Robertson, Camp, and Reeves seems like what could be the starting fourth line if Yarncrook can get healthy enough. And Holmberg is, I think this says a lot about how Keefe feels about Holmberg, because he's looked good in the regular season last year and he's looked good in the preseason. So him with Bertuzzi and Gregor is, I'm sure Keefe is really hoping that they can create a little magic tonight. Maybe create some offense with their speed, turnovers. You never know. I think they might surprise Montreal tonight, because I don't think Montreal is going to be able to handle the speed that the Leafs are putting on. But definitely the Leafs are not icing. There's no Tavares, no Marner, no Matthews, no Nylander, no Domi. Like the Leafs are icing a very minimal lineup tonight. I'm assuming they're holding back the superstars for the Montreal game in Toronto on Tuesday. So it's going to be interesting. I think they're going to ice a pretty decent lineup, because I think Tuesday is a home game for the Leafs versus the Canadiens. And then on Thursday, they play the Detroit Red Wings at home. And that's our last preseason game. So I think that Tuesday, Thursday in Toronto are going to be the best lineups that we're going to see, and probably closer to the day one lineups. And guess what? I got tickets to both games. Stay tuned to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm going to be posting a lot of content from the games. Give you guys my thoughts on how they look. Um, they tend to look faster when you're in the building. It tends to be faster, a little bit faster than on TV. So I'll give you guys my thoughts on how these guys look. But I'm very excited with the look Easton Cowan is getting. Um, the Leafs are rewarding the young guy for his work ethic, and that's the only way you could do it. As a franchise, when the kid shows up and plays like this, when he really doesn't have to, when there's zero expectations on the guy, I think, you got to take him to Gravenhurst. You got to let him hang out with the NHLers, get a look at how they prepare, how they keep their bodies going, how they fuel up, how they rest, and more create that chemistry, right? This guy's going to be a Leaf eventually, and it's good to know the guys it's good to know the guys in the dressing room, because coming into a dressing room where you have relationships and you have connections, definitely makes it a lot easier. So not a great lineup tonight in Montreal, Friday night hockey, but I'm excited nonetheless because the passion is strong. And I'm excited to see what Nyes and Lafferty are going to create on that second line. So this has been another Thursday edition of the TML Domain podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and definitely join the conversation on Facebook and Twitter as we keep the love going, man. The passion is real with you guys. Leafs Nation always shows up. Preseason, regular season, playoffs, it doesn't matter. And I love to see it. So let me know your thoughts on the Leafs lineup. Will Nick Robertson make the team? And if he doesn't, who's taking his spot? Is a guy like Gregor going to make the team? And especially on the defense, Giordano hasn't looked the fastest. Giordano hasn't looked the best. We've seen a guy like Lagesson score a goal. He's been pretty speedy. Liljegren and Timmins have looked good. Kokkonen is not bad. But, McCabe and Klingberg, hopefully the Klingberg injury isn't serious. But, cross my fingers and positive thoughts for Klingberg. We need him healthy all season long. So let me know. And we might actually see Samsonov tonight. So let me know about the goaltending. What do you think about Martin Jones? He hasn't looked bad. He hasn't looked bad, and you gotta love that mask. So who do you think the goaltenders are going to be to start the season? Can the Leafs go with 3, or are we going to lose one to waivers because Tampa just lost Vasilevsky to back injury, and he's gone 8 to 10 weeks, so that's at least 2.5 months. At least October, November, December. I don't think we're going to see Vasilevsky till Christmas, and the Tampa Bay Lightning have zero goaltending depth. Unless somebody comes out of nowhere, it looks like they could be taking Martin Jones off waivers, and he's going to be playing against the Leafs soon. So you guys let me know what you think. I appreciate the conversation. See you guys again soon on another Thursday edition of the TML Domain podcast. I appreciate you guys.